Of course, just like when you're popular, the negative side of it is that people will always try to come after you, and that's what happened. There were some people who are twisting his words for their own benefit. I'm not really paying that much of an attention to those people, as you know, I don't get affected anymore by those things. It's just that the last several days, even before he went live, there were some huge things happening. Huge in that I can be specific and say that Jimin's father is actually getting harassed. We'll get to that later. Um, and they're sort of the haters are continuing it. They are, so every time he mentions or there's any kind of clue that they are together, he meaning Jungkook, whenever Jungkook mentions Jimin or there's a hint that they are together, even in photos, the haters are actually attacking the parents of Jimin because they know that Jimin can't go online, so they're not they're unable to attack him because Jimin won't see them. So they're going after the father. Yes, again. So at some point, I think right now the comments of the Z Millennial account is actually off. So so yeah, the father, Jimin's father, actually turned it off because there were so many things that just vile things were being said. And it started because I think there was a Christmas tree in Z Millennial Cafe, and there were some trinkets that fans actually hanged on the tree. That is a the Jonko character in BT21, but those were given by fans. You know, people actually go there and they give stuff to the restaurant, and a lot of solos and I guess shippers of V and Jungkook, they're attacking the father, and so he had to turn it off. So I'm assuming as soon as he started mentioning Jimin's name, as I've mentioned, I don't really understand everything that he was saying. I was just catching words, and so I knew from the like in the first, I'd say 10 minutes, he already mentioned Jimin. He said that Jimin and I are like working hard, something like that. That's what I heard, like working hard, like work together or working hard, something like that. And the moment that he said it, I was like, oh, God. No, this is just going to make things worse. But of course, it's not like, even, I mean, had I been in the position of Jungkook, I'm not going to pay attention to the haters, right? The truth is that they're serving together and they did that on purpose. So, anyway, I mentioned that just because I want us to be aware of how fans are so vile that they will use any and every opportunity that they can to throw hate on other people. And I just want to make it clear that this is nothing to do with Jimin, and this is nothing to do with V or Jungkook. These are people that are just sick in the head, and they will find anything and everything they can to shade people, to hate on people, to just be angry. And it just so happened that it is Jimin and Jungkook and V. Um, so just I hope that we can, I guess, shower the boys, specifically the three, Jungkook, Jimin, and V, with love and support because we know what other people are trying to do. Um, so just let's just be aware that that's happening so that we can double our efforts to try and provide as much support as we can. I've always said that the best revenge has always been success. So let's make them successful. Let's help them become successful. I think that's a better terminology. Let's help make them successful in what they're doing. Right now, Jimin's, who is still in Billboard Hot 100, it's actually dropping. It's at number, the midweek prediction is number 50. So we need to stream. And then, of course, V has a Christmas song. So I hope that we can maintain it inside Billboard Hot 100 for the second week this week. And then let's continue streaming Jungkook songs. With those things, we're able to That's the best way to actually fight the haters, right? Hoan asked, are shippers gay? Why would they have this kind of fantasy in their minds? Okay, that's a good question. I wanted to answer that later, but I'll since you asked that, I'll answer it now. Um, s- so we part of the how do I term it? I guess just speculation or opinion. Many of these people are just really plainly sick in the head, right? Because I don't think it's normal for you to hate on someone just because it does not fit your own fantasy, right? Because I mean, what do we know about their relationships, right? We don't know who they're with, and we shouldn't know unless they want us to know. So for them to be angry at something because their fictional world isn't getting fulfilled, that is just sick in the head. I don't even know how to, like, I don't even have a terminology. This is just delusions, and anything that gets in the way of their delusions, they're just hating on them. So this uh what's the tekok is how they call themselves, these tekok shippers, they're just sick in the head. So that's the first answer to your question. Second answer is that, and this has been a theory of many other K-pop fans. The theory is that for many of these people, they if they personally cannot have their idol, they would rather that it goes to a group member, because they can't stand having their idol date another girl that is not them. So if it isn't them, might as well just be with another guy. And if it is just another guy, it might as well be a group member. So once they get fixated on someone, they want that to stay. So that's the second answer to your question. So first question is the first answer is that they're just sick in the head. There's absolutely no explanation. The second answer is that they actually want the idol for themselves, but because they can't have the idol, might as well just give it to a guy instead of another girl, or a girl that is not them. Um, third is that they kind of related to the first, that they are by nature hateful people. They have like emotional issues, and they have emotional issues, and they're addicts, and it just so happened that their addiction is sort of funneled to the idols. So when you're addicted to something, you don't really pay attention to, and there's no rhyme and reason. You just feel satisfied with that kind of addiction, with that addiction, so you want that, and you will do anything and everything that you can to get your hands on that. If you're a drug addict, you'll sell anything and everything, including your own body, to be able to get your hands on drugs. And I know a thing or two about drug addicts because my grandmother is one. She was she was a gambling addict. So may she rest in peace. I love her so much. She's a very, very loving woman. She's just a gambling addict. And so she wasted away for, is there anybody from the Philippines here? Anybody from the Philippines? Half, if there is any Filipino here, my grandmother actually owned like a third, no, a quarter of Taguig, which is the main one of the main cities in the city in the Philippines, main cities in the Philippines. So she actually owned like a quarter of that. Um, so this was a long time ago, and then she just wasted it away. She started selling her land because she wanted to gamble. And then we just grew up in poverty. But she is a gambling addict. So these people are actually addicts. So, and it just so happened that their addiction is this K-pop and shipping. So that's the answer to your question. There was someone who was calling my attention earlier. Danji said the tech cookers need to get out of their own head. He told them several times. I know. Um, Let me see if I can find that question. Danji asked, we real armies have to report these hateful people to Big Hit and Hype so they can deal with it. Yes. So if you see anything, just screen cap. screen cap all of those things, and then get as much information as you can of the account. Like for example, if it's on X or Twitter, screen cap the tweet and also screen cap the profile. And then you can email that to Big Hit yourself, or you can send it to me because I regularly send them things to people that they can sue. Now, many of those they won't be able to pursue because, especially if the person is actually from the US, it takes a lot to actually be able to sue somebody in the US or to just get somebody arrested in the US. When it comes to freedom of expression, the US is very particular about it, and rightfully so. It's just that no law and no execution is perfect, right? So, in a perfect world, nobody will be disrespecting anybody, but that's just how it is. As they said, in with freedom of expression, um, your expression is protected, your truth is protected, but so are the lies. So, Jessica said, and don't give them any attention. Do not repost them or comment on them. Simply report them and ignore them. Correct. So, any kind of attention is actually what gives them the fuel. That's the fuel to their fire. So, don't pay attention. Do not engage. Don't respond to any of those. My my advice has always been, for every hate tweet or hate post that you see, do two or three positive things. So either you post something positive yourself, or repost or like somebody else's post. Even if you have very few followers on social media, the truth is that those still get read by the algorithm, right? It's still there. So their algorithm still reads it. So if you're posting something positive and there are enough people posting something positive, then that's what the algorithm will think is dominant. So that's what they'll push more. The problem is that many of the people that are well meaning and well intentioned, they just don't do anything. When in fact, you should do something. Even if you think no one is paying attention, the algorithm is paying attention. So again, if many of us are actually posting positive things, then the algorithm will think that, oh, this is what I need to push because people are talking about it. So just keep on posting or support other posts that are supportive of the boys because of the comments. They're relentless. I know. I mean, I don't. By nature, you know this by now. By nature, I already am a super uninterested with their romantic life, and generally uninterested in other people's romantic life as well. I mean, I'm happy. Like for example, if my friends are in a relationship, I'm very, very supportive. I'm very happy for them, but I'm not gonna pry. I'm not gonna try and investigate who they're with or whatever. Or if they share, for example, if they have a problem, I'm not gonna ask what the problem is. I'll just wait for them to tell me because I feel like if they want me to know, then they'll let me know, right? So that's just my nature when it comes to romantic relationships of other people. So when it comes to the boys, to the kids, I'm not really like, oh, who are they dating or whatever. I don't really care because I feel like that's their life. And for as long as they're not dating a serial killer or something like that, I whatever, do whatever it is that you want. And if the time comes that they share and they declare it, then I'm going to be happy for them, right? Danji, I'm interested in Hobie's romantic life. I'm ready whenever he accepts my proposal. I don't know Danji because whenever I see Hobie, I just run away. So if you're dating him, I won't know because the minute I see him, I'm just gonna run away. I won't even know who he's with. Do you remember V said that he will get married at the age of 30? I remember him saying that, yeah. But I don't think that's going to happen. He's close. Besides, he didn't clear it out if he's 30 international age or 30 Korean age. Namhar said, I think their relationships are complicated enough. They don't need more weirdness from us. Yeah, I mean, as I've said, I'm going to be very, very supportive. I do hope that they find someone that they can spend the rest of their lives with. I think it's important um that they become happy, whatever means that would whatever end that would mean, whether it's with somebody or with or alone for as long as they are healthy and happy and at peace, more than anything else, I'll be happy. I just hope that they they distribute their DNAs because they reproduce, because we need that kind of DNA. Bang Luna said it's important for their mental health that they have happy personal lives. Yes, I definitely agree. So I just like, even, as you know, there was this Danji saying, Fairlane, I think whenever they hold the first concert, armies should show up in wedding dresses. I'll show up as a priest. How's that? So that I can officiate the wedding once they make a choice. I'm just going to officiate there. So I'll just ask them, just, there's 75,000 people here, make a choice. I'm here to marry you. Marry you with them, not me marrying them. But yeah, so just I hope that we can respect the personal lives as well. But yeah, I mean, I hope that they reproduce, because we need that kind of DNA.